Welcome back to Coding Dev. Let us revisit the core Redux structure we discussed earlier. We already have our application set up, so we now need to focus on the three key parts: actions, reducers, and the store. These are the building blocks of Redux, and we will be tackling each one step by step. In this video, we are going to focus specifically on actions, what they are, how they work, and how to write one in our app. So, what are actions? They are the only way your application can communicate with the Redux store. They are just simple JavaScript object that contains details about something that happened in this app. Importantly, they must always include a type property that identifies what kind of action occurred. Now let us do the project setup. If you don't have Node.js installed in your system, go to nodejs.org and download the latest version of Node.js, which has long-term support. Currently, it is version 22. It might be different the day you watch this video. So go ahead and install the latest version. I already have it installed. Now what I'll do is I will create a folder called YT Redux. Navigate to that folder. In this folder, I will initialize a node project by calling npm init-y. As you can see, we are not directly creating a React project since Redux is supported in all of the JavaScript applications. We'll be first implementing Redux in JavaScript, and later on, when we come to Redux Toolkit, we'll be implementing that in React. So I'll open this in VS Code. This would have created a package JSON with the default values. So what we will do is we'll just install Redux within it. So I'll be using pnpm here. You can use npm or yarn. If you want to install pnpm, you can do npm install -g pnpm. I have already installed it, so I'll do pnpm install Redux. You can directly do npm install Redux. I'm doing pnpm because I don't have any space left in my system. So when you're using pnpm, right, if you already have Redux installed in some other application, it will reuse. It helps in caching and saving the disk space. If you see, right, if you go here and if you see the Redux is a symbolic link, it will store all these dependencies in a centralized location and link to it. Now I'll create a file called index.js. I'll open this and I can log something. I'll say hello from index. Now if I run node index.js, you can see it is printed in the console. And let us just import Redux and see what happens. So I'll import Redux from Redux. So if I run node index.js again, you can see this error. This is because by default Node.js expect the JavaScript code to be in CommonJS, that is the require syntax. So to support import syntax, you need to change this type as module in package.json. So I'll say type as module. Now if I run, right, it is again giving error. This is because there is no default export. So I'll do import start as Redux from Redux. Now if I clear and run, as you can see, it is running successfully and we are getting this console log printed in the terminal. Now let us first create our action creator. Before that, you have to create a constant. So our constant will be book borrowed. In our library case, the first action will be book borrowed. So I'll create a constant. This we will use as the type. So the action will be book borrowed, and I can give a payload of 1. This payload is nothing but the count. So you can give an object also here. No need to give just a constant. Since we do not have any other properties, I'll be giving it 1 as a constant here. This payload is the standard structure used in Redux. It is not necessary that you have to use payload. I can use count as well, but it's a standard to use payload, so I'll be using payload here. This type is mandatory. If you don't send type, the Redux will throw an error, but payload is not mandatory. Now I can just create borrow book action. It is one way to create an action, but the problem here is you cannot pass any argument and upload the payload. Let us say I want to borrow 2 books, then I cannot do anything here. So I'll be converting this to a function. So what this will do is this will receive a quantity. I'll default it to 1 and this function will return an object and I'll pass this quantity as a payload here. So why do we do this function is one is reusability. You just need to define this a function in one place, and if at all you want to do some code restructuring or something, you can do it in one place. You don't have to do in 10 places. Let us say you're dispatching this action from different places, then refactoring becomes easier. So this function is called as action creator, and whatever it returns is called as an action. So if we look back at our Redux structure, in the next video we will move on to reducers, where we define how the app structure actually changes when the actions are dispatched. Hope you're liking this series. If you are, please consider subscribing to the channel. See you in the next one.